here from the Horseshoe. Maryland, the number 3 team in the country, they are playing as well as anybody across America against an Ohio State team coming off an emotional and historic rivalry win over the Michigan Wolverines. Good afternoon and welcome to our live streaming coverage alongside former Buckeye JT Bluebaugh. I'm Brendan Gulick. JT, this is a game that as Maryland and Ohio State have played over the years, it always seems to be a little bit more at stake, very consequential.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, most of these games are going to be determined by 1-2 goals. It's going to have consequences for later in the year on who gets into the Big Ten tournament and possibly the NCAA tournament. So this is a good day for the Buckeyes to try to kind of get their season on the right track and get a win against a really good opponent.
It's certainly going to be a tall task because this Maryland team is scoring at an extremely high rate at assists. Those have been their top 3 offensive performers. Kyle Long dodging, flings it across, and Maryland's on the board. It's Wisnauskas going top shelf, and the Terrapins 1-0, 7:40 to play in the first.
Yeah, that's a really good possession by Maryland. I mean, they're just getting the ball moving super fast. You know, they didn't do anything, exceptionally special there. They just kind of found a skip pass and came up with a good.
Dio can't find a way to pull the trigger. Shot clock's at 16. Shot clock at 7. Ripped from the far side, and Trey LeClaire finds the bottom left corner. There it is, goal number 148 for Trey LeClaire.
Yeah, someone might want to grab that ball out of the net and give it to LeClaire as a little souvenir. That's a really special achievement for those young D-middies. When they come to the sideline to just talk out what they just saw on the field. And, he's so smart and he loves, coaching up his teammates, as Coach Meyer said the other night. So he's still having an impact, even though he can't be on the field today.
Wow, terrific work. Eric Mulliver puts it in the back of the cage but unfortunately caught Alec Van de Bovenkamp leaning the wrong way.
Yeah, right here, Ohio State slides a little early to that initiating dodge, and they kind of get burned on the backside. That's obviously a super difficult save to make, just right there on the crease.
Well, Maryland on the attack. That didn't work out the way the Buckeyes wanted, and it certainly worked out well for the Terrapins. Wisnauskas goes 5-hole.
So that right there is sort of why you want to play a little bit slower against this Maryland team. You don't want to get in a shootout with them. They've got so many talent them play you in a 6-on-6 set. Right there, just a pretty easy transition goal for Maryland, and those are the easy ones that Ohio State's trying to sort of stop.
Came before us. That includes you, JT.
Yeah, definitely some proud alumni, myself included, whenever you have a day where you get to beat the team up north and get win number 500 for the program.
This is their first executed goal on a man-up opportunity.
So if we're looking at the goals that Maryland scored, right, they've gotten a man-up goal.
If you've just tuned in, this is the 5th game of the season, and Maryland is having some fun offensively. The Terrapins are starting to heat up. 5-1.
Yeah, that's just a miscommunication by the Buckeyes on that little pick play. Yeah, with young D-middies for Ohio State, Maryland's just going to continue. Maryland's always sort of been like that. It's tough to play against as an opponent because you have to play a full 60 minutes.
Wisnauskas dumps it in front, and it turns into an easy goal for Daniel Maltz. Perfect pass from Wisnauskas to Maltz. And Maryland has added a 6th goal, make it 6-1 now. In addition to that, it's 5 unanswered.
Yeah, and once again, they just sort of beat Ohio State with ball movement there. They're not really doing anything other than just swinging.
Matt Rahill on defense. Ohio State thinks it's got its look, and they found it. Back of the net for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, in college lacrosse, if you're 2 men down, it's it's going to be seldom that you get a stop there. The shooters are just so good. I think that was what the Buckeyes needed. I mean, if you're looking at the momentum shift there, I mean, Maryland going 2 men down, really leaving the door open.
Some going here offensively. Work on the far side, Grant Mitchell. Ohio State stacks up 2 in a row now, 7-3.
Yeah, that's what Ohio State needs to do. They have to start getting to the middle of the field, and you saw it there. That's just a good. And I think sometimes, too, Ohio State gets so stuck in the mindset that they have to dodge the shorties as initiating when they're initiating their offense. But right there, you just saw a guy run right. If Ohio State can just, like I said, slow it down and make Maryland play 6-on-6, then they can stop some of the efficiency of this offense. But you can't let Maryland score man up, and you also can't let them score those transition goals, because those can be the difference in the game.
Terrapins with 10 seconds. Oh, what a perfect pass. Wisnowskis drove to the cage, the back.
Yeah, Ohio State just kind of late to rotate there.
Takes advantage of a long misfired pass.
Yeah, and that's a rare, sloppy play between the lines by Maryland. Ohio State needs to start taking advantage of some of these early third quarter mistakes.
There's a shot at a goal. Finally, the Buckeyes are on the board. Jack Myers rips.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, Jack Myers just had the confidence to grip it and rip it, and but Ohio State needs to start shooting
it down in front. But Jackson Reed couldn't handle it. Buckeyes settle into a ride. They turn it over. Geez, that never happens to Maryland. 8-5, a completely gift wrap.
To make a mistake like that, and that's one as an offensive player where you're running in one-on-one at the goalie, and you're like, please, I need to make this.
Oh my goodness, that is Leclerc. Needs a little help. Jackson Reed underneath, right in front. Jack Myers. 8-6 Maryland.
That's a really good. We lose their man in the middle. Yeah, if you see, the replay doesn't totally show that, but when Leclerc was dodging, he was getting a long stick sliding to his face. He just makes a quick adjacent, and there's
Maryland 9, Ohio State 6. Good work on both ends, but boy, it's hard to beat one of the all-time greats in Maryland.
The Buckeyes are actually playing pretty good defense there. Here, I mean, that's just Bernhardt winning this matchup more than anything. X's and O's. That's just a one-on-one matchup that Maryland wins. And you're going to give up some goals on this.
A face-off, and then Jared Bernhardt made it 10-6. Terrapins getting a good look. What a save! Alec Van de Bovenkamp with a beautiful stop. Van de Bovenkamp leaves his cage, and Ohio State grabs possession. What an effort by the Buckeyes. Can they take advantage of it on the offensive end with 1:20 to play in the quarter? Jack Myers, you betcha! What a sequence!
That Ohio State save. Yeah, I mean, that's a solid save by the OSU keeper. I'm just gonna call him the OSU keeper because that name's a mouthful. But and then once again, we're getting the middle of the field, just coming right down the hash, and he goes off stick on the Maryland goalie, and that's the answer Ohio State needed. And that's
gorgeous sunny Saturday in Columbus. Another Maryland goal right on the doorstep. Did not cross. It counts. 11-7.
Ohio State did a good job in the third of neutralizing that, but right here they just kind of get lost off ball, don't get that guy across quick enough, and they pay for it.
Daniel Maltz with a hat trick now. That's a big takeaway for Maryland.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because it looked like they were actually, it looked like Trey actually had a good matchup and was going to be able to exploit it. Finally.
A shot and score.
Yeah, that's a tough swing. I mean, Ohio State sort of gets a, it's not a call that you get that often where they call a moving screen like that, and then Maryland just comes right down and scores a quick one. So yeah, once again, also Maryland just scores, you know, on the backside.
Really disappointing early tournament loss yesterday. Ohio State basketball season is all over. Oral Roberts pulled off one of the 10 biggest upsets in NCAA tournament history just based on the seed. Wow, what a tough angle. Eric Molliver with a sweet goal for the...
Yeah, we'll have to see this one again. I don't know how he squeezed that ball in there.
I think when he shot it, his feet were still behind the goal. He got the head of the stick out in front.
Right there, the Ohio State goaltender kind of get competitive, and you know, they're going to have opportunities to play in more big games and get better. So there's still a lot out there for Ohio State. I mean, even after today, when they'll likely go down, there'll be a lot of lacrosse left to be played, and hopefully the NCAA committee takes into consideration some of these bigger conferences, and lets more teams from a conference like the Big Ten in, because they're kind of beating each other up week after week.
So Jared,
I mean, he never made any excuses, certainly, but he said, you know, it has been difficult to not know who's going to be out at practice, or if we're going to have if we can even do a full two-team scrimmage, you know. So, yeah, it can't be easy to be spring sports right now, but
Daniel Maltz scores to make it 15-7. I mean, that was clinical, the way Maryland came up the field. 2 quick passes before they got to the IL media poll, 3 in the coaches poll, but you could make an argument they're playing as well as anybody, and it's shots like that. I mean, that was just silly. Wisnauskas rings the poll.
Yeah, I mean, we're just seeing the power of this Maryland offense the longer we play through this fourth quarter. I mean, they can score in multiple different ways, and they can score a lot of goals quickly. And
that far post, Buckeyes misfires. We hit the final minute. There's no doubt Wisnauskas, when he's on the field, is one of the best players out there for sure. Jared Barnhart have had great runs as the Buckeyes do add a goal, but it feels like window assist in the game too, and a day worth celebrating for him, but too little too late for Ohio State.
And one of the most, I think, an interesting storyline from this game is just, you know, Trey LeClaire and how Maryland really has found a way to...
Or by himself now, passing Logan Schuss. In the meantime, Bernhardt, with 3 more goals today, is now sitting on 150 in his career, and he is 5 away from tying Matt Rambo's program record of 155. So he is closing in on some Terrapin history as well. This is not the typical time that Ohio State and Maryland have met. Most of those games have been very tight final scores. Today, a convincing win for one of the best teams in college lacrosse. The Maryland Terrapins come to Columbus and beat the Buckeyes by a final score of 16-8. Ohio State won 19 of the 27 faceoffs. They had plenty of possessions, but Maryland outshot them by 6, and they poured it on here in the fourth quarter to really stretch what was once a tight 8-6 game into a 16-8 final. A couple of final stats for you. Myers with 4 goals, 2 assists to lead the Buckeyes. Wisnauskas and Maltz had 4 goals apiece. Bernhardt had 3 for Maryland as the Terrapins pulled away from Ohio State. JT, your final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, Maryland obviously came in here and got a really huge road game win. Ohio State